Greetings, welcome back to PinkOddBird. Today I'm here to show you how I make these really fun and simple spring greeting cards, and this is part of my project for our annual Spring Hop 2020. And if you don't know already, we do this yearly. A hop is basically where my friends and I come together and we make various craft projects for you, and we hope that you will craft along with us and hop from channel to channel. So today, if you would like to see how I put these greeting cards together, stay tuned, and after this video is over, you can hop on over to the next video, Serene Bookworks. So let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to get started on these really sweet springtime cards, and I'm going to just start out with an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and cut it in half lengthwise. So once you've cut it in half lengthwise, you should have two pieces that are 4.25 by 11, and then you just want to fold them in half so that they become 5.5 by 4.25. So these are going to be top opening cards. You can make yours whatever shape you want to. If you're using scraps or anything like that, I would say just work with whatever shape you have instead of making new, use what you have. I'm going to get started based off these two. This was the prototype that I made first, and then this is the one that I made on the live stream yesterday. So I'm going to use these as my models for this card that I'm going to show you. So the first thing that I did was took a little bit of my collage paper, and this is what it looks like. This stuff goes a really long way, so I'm only going to take a small bit. The first style of card is going to definitely be more of like a grungy spring kind of look. So it's going to have a more vintage and aged look to it. So if you're not already familiar, the Spring Hop is something that my friends and I usually do yearly, and it's organized by my buddy Priscilla, who has released the Craftin', and a bunch of crafty gals. We come together and make some springtime projects for you, and in hopes that you will also, give them a try, of course. And so there are a few ladies here on the hop, and they have made some really cool and fun springtime projects. So I hope that you will check them out. The way that the hop was set up was Kim from Serene Bookworks was set to go live after me, her video. So definitely check out Kim. I'm going to link her in the description box below, and then she is going to link you to the next person in the hop. So it kind of is quite literally a channel hop. So that is the way that it works. And so it's obviously going to be all things spring themed. So if you have, some free time, now would be the time to get some fun little happiness and cheer kind of going on through your house and spreading it to others, for example, by way of cards. And if you're not sure, or if you've already sent out some spring cards, there are different programs that are available, and one of them, I will link one of the ones down in the description box below where you can check them out. They have a couple different programs currently running, and one of them is cards for children in foster care, so you can brighten their day, and the other is care cards for our healthcare workers, and they provide you with information on where you can send your cards and all that great stuff. So I'm just taking some of my antique paper, and I'm going to glue this down on the collage for the card. So as you can see, it is shaping up to be quite grungy, and actually I think I'm going to, the paper is already kind of aged on its own, but I'm going to use what's left on my stamp to kind of further that. Okay, so that's what we have so far. So collage paper, stamping and some old antique paper is what I'm using, but you can use book page or whatever other collage medium that you like to use. So the next little element that I like to add is the washi tape. So I'm going to put a couple pieces here and there, and you can even like let them run off the side if you want to. And I just fold it over. And so this is about it for the base. Now you don't have to distress this, but if you want to get kind of like the look that's like a little bit more grungy and aged, then you can distress it with your distress ink. So I really do think it is a nice time because everyone can use a little extra cheer for this spring holiday. I know it probably doesn't feel a lot like spring because a lot of people have travel plans and, you know, like to go outside and do outdoor activities, but when you send someone a little card, it brings a little brightness and a little happiness inside their home, because they will prop your card up and have you to thank and look at, you know, as this spring season begins. So I think it's a really sweet idea. You don't have to distress the back, but I'm just going to do it a little bit. And if there's anything left on my stamp, I kind of want that residual here as well. No, I'll just lightly dab it. I just want to do it a little bit so that it kind of ties the front and back together a little bit, since it is so distressed looking. Just like that. So I'm not going to distress the inside of the card, but if you're sending this to somebody that you know, what you could also do is tape a little packet of your favorite tea inside of here and write them a little note, and they can enjoy your favorite tea and also have your card up to, you know, just to look at and have a little spring reminder. Okay, so now that we have kind of the base of the card done, we need something that's like a focal point here. So I'm going to grab my sticker book. If you don't have stickers, you can also fussy cut images out of book pages, or you can use die cuts. You can use, you can fussy cut images out of digital kits. So there are several options of what you can do. I don't want to choose anything floral because there's already flowers on the page. So I think what I'm going to do is grab one of these little shapes here maybe. We'll try the circle. And I'm just going to put this right about here. That looks good. And then as you can see on this card, I also used one of the paper dolls as a secondary focal point. On this one, I just used the one sticker as the focal point. So I'm going to take a look at my paper dolls and see if I have anything that would kind of accent this little element here. Lots of sweet little images in here. He looks a little too sad for sending spring joy, so I want to find something that's a little bit happier, a little bit more happy. Like, that's cute. That is really cute. Okay, kind of maybe right here. And I also got my punch, and I have a little bit of scrap paper somewhere here. I think I'm gonna, oh, you know what, I already punched one out. But if you have a punch, it's a nice way to add a secondary little element. So I'm gonna distress this so that it also blends in with the page, or with the card, a little bit better. Just slightly distress it. It's a very delicate little piece. And I think we can put it somewhere around here maybe. And then you can see we're kind of just placing this out right now. I'm going to take a little bit of muslin. I have a little bit of scrap muslin here, and just cut a small bit. And I want to fray it out a little so that it kind of ties in with our distressed look. And then to give it a little bit more of a backing, I'm gonna take a piece of this scrap paper here, and I'm just gonna simply distress this. I think this is a really great little project that you can do because once it's all done, it's really just a card and an envelope, and if you've got stamps, then you can easily pop these in your mailbox, and you don't even have to leave your house to do that. Just put them in your mailbox and throw the flag up. Okay, so I want her hand to be over, so I'm going to glue this down first. Okay, and then I'm going to take my little miniature letter stamps here and use my ink pad to put a sentiment on the front. Let's put the word smile on this one because I think she's so happy and cheery, and you know, I feel like when you see her, you will smile. Plus we're sending spring cheer. And of course, I didn't get enough ink. Ooh, I got that right back on the money. I never get that lucky. All right, so I just want to layer this kind of over so that it's kind of like an additional layer. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here and pop this down. And then we will have our gal here, and then let's get this butterfly down here at the bottom. And I'm only putting a strip of glue down the center so the wings are kind of like fluttering. Okay, so let's get her down, and then you gotta always watch out for these invisible little punch out pieces. I always miss those. And here we go. And then the last thing I'm going to do is just lightly go over these little elements that we put down with the distresser again, so that they kind of blend in and look like they belong on the card here. So there we go. Oh, it's so cute. That is the vintage grungy kind of look. So let's move on into something a little bit less grungy. So the second kind of card that I did is this, very simple. If you have children in your home who need projects to do, I think this is probably a pretty good project for them at this time. It's pretty easy to do. And all you really need is some scrap paper, stamps, and buttons and glue. So let's go ahead and, oh, and a marker. So let's go ahead and make those. So I'm starting out with my blank card again. And for this one, I'm just going to start by taking a piece of this little wrapping paper here. And I just want it to be kind of the width of my card. And I'm going to tear it down a little. And there we go. So that'll be really nice. I'm going to get a little bit of glue here at the top to hold this down. I've been going through and watching the videos that the other gals are doing, and man, they have some fun projects. They really do. And I'm like, oh, you guys are so creative. Something a little outside of the box. They're not all paper related, you know. So if you're looking for other projects to do, I definitely recommend checking out the line of the hop. Hop the line, walk the line, hop the line. Well, don't hop the line because that's kind of like cutting. Okay, so I digress. That's like what I do. I digress. All right, so I'm taking my script stamp, and you can skip this part if you don't want to make it moderately grungy. You can skip this. So, okay, so I'm just getting a little bit of that down there, and I'm not going to worry about the backside, and I'm also not going to distress the card this time. So next, I'm just going to take a couple of buttons here, not being too picky, just going to pick about 4 of them. And for this, I'm just going to use my Aleene's glue. I haven't had any issues with either of these cards with the buttons lifting. Like, they're not going anywhere. I mean, if you pull them off, of course they will come off, but I mean, it's just a greeting card at the end of the day. You can use something stronger if you want to, but you don't want to get your card like wet with too many different mediums, because it's going to start warping. And then you're going to have to let your card sit and press it and yada yada. So here we go, just getting these buttons down. Just like that. And I'm kind of staggering them a little so they have some different heights to them and such. So the next step is to make, you know, world famous grass. Probably the way we all did it in elementary, but if you have a better way to make grass, then feel free to teach me, because this is all I know. Okay, so next I'm going to just draw some little stems for these flowers, like so, and make very primitive leaf looking shapes, because I am not the artiste, but this is why I say this is a project that can be good for children even, because I think it would just really make a sweet gesture. Like if you have children who haven't gotten to see their grandparents or something like that, you know, I think this is a fun project to send over to Grandma and Grandpa just to say hi. Also, don't forget about the programs that I mentioned for foster children and for the care workers. And you can also, someone mentioned it on the live yesterday, you can also look for senior homes, and you can send, you know, positive and uplifting messages to those in senior homes as well. So on this card, since my collage came down a little bit further, I'm going to do the muslin trick again. And on these here, you can see I just stamped my word directly onto the card, and you can totally do that. It's just because it would be like really, I'd have to put like hi, like that's all I really have space for right here. So I'm going to do the muslin so that I have a background here to work with. Let's see what we can get here. Do I have an apostrophe? Nope. But you know what? They'll get the gist of it. So next would come P. P. Like that. This is just a way for you to make sure that you get your word evenly spaced, which I probably still won't, but you're probably better than me. So here we go. Put the letter N right here. And then we'll have the letter I, which I left out. Of course, I barely might have enough room for the R. Whoa. I'm not really good with stamping, but that's a recurring. Oh, I spelled it wrong. What is spiring? What is that? Trash is what it is. I think I'm actually just gonna leave it at spring. I'm not even gonna try and squeeze. What is today? Like, okay, spring is the word. And I would like it right here. Spring. There we go. So the next thing I wanted to show you quickly was, if you don't have envelopes at the ready, or if you maybe made like an odd shaped card or odd sized. Who makes an odd shaped card? If you made an odd sized card that you don't have like a standard envelope for, let me show you my trick. I found a really neat paper bundle, I guess, computer paper at the thrift store. So I'm going to take a piece of this. It's just 8.5 by 11 paper. Perfect because it is pastel. And what I'm going to do is, this is where we're going to maximize our paper. So we got about 1/2 inch over here. So fold that down. And I need to scoot this up a bit. We can move it up a little bit more. What we're looking for is to see just about like that. So you can see we've put it in here and we've got about 1/2 inch up at the top and we folded 1/2 inch over here. So we're going to take this side and fold it in like so. And then we'll take the top and fold it down. So we're getting all of our crease lines ready, okay? So I'm gonna take the card out. Now, what I messed up on yesterday was I forgot to accommodate for leaving 1/2 inch here. So here's the rest of the envelope, here's the crease. You wanna leave about 1/2 inch right here. So like 1/2 inch. You can use a ruler or whatever you want to make a mark here. I'll just use my finger like that and roughly estimate it. So I'm gonna cut this little piece off. Okay, and so when we open it, this is what we have. So I'm gonna redefine my lines here, like so. Now, if you open your page up, this is how it looks. So what we're gonna do is start at the bottom, and I'm just going to cut like right inside of the line that we folded down here at the bottom, just right inside of it. And then when I get to the point, I'm gonna go like this at an angle. So when I come up here to the top, I'm gonna repeat that angle right here at the juncture. So I'm gonna angle it, and then again, I'm going to cut right inside of this crease line, like that. And I'm going to repeat the same thing on this side. Okay, and so now what you should have is the perfect envelope. So I'm just going to take a little glue like this and pop my card back in, and you've got yourself an envelope. If you want to see how you can further decorate your outgoing mail, you can check out my last video, which I will link down below. So this is it. I love these little cards, and I hope that you will give them a try. If you do, definitely tag me here or on Instagram at PinkOddBird. Don't forget to check out my buddy Kim, who is Serene Bookworks. Her video is next, and she's making a fun little altered bag for you, so go ahead and go check that out, and then check out the rest of the ladies and subscribe to them if you please. So that is going to wrap it up for me for now. Be sure to stay tuned because you never know what direction this odd flock of ours is heading into. And until next time, toodaloo.